Buonasera a tutti. Buonasera Aaron. Ciao. Buonasera. Buonasera. Joy, quanto tempo? Come stai? Sorry, I keep looking there because I set up that camera and now it's using this one. I don't know if I can change it. Buonasera a tutti. Janice, Romas, Grace. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Ok, allora. Oh, well, we'll use this camera. It doesn't matter, right? Allora, aspettiamo qualche minuto. Abbiamo già 49 studenti. Wow. 49 studenti. Academy is down, Joe. Okay. Oh, apologies. Unfortunately, it's not our fault. It's that company that we're using. And once again, they can't connect to the database. So they're definitely working on it because they have thousands of people complaining right now because of that. Oh, no. So yeah, we can't do anything, and there's no other address that I can give you to get in because they're down. Basta. Basta. Luckily, I have some good news in relation to the new website. So let's get started. Buonasera a tutti. What's the white thing on my neck? Reflection? Oh, this one thing? It's actually not white. It's, let's see if you can see it now. It's like blue thing. Io amo le cravatte. I actually love ties. I'd never get to wear them because it's hot here, but buonasera, buonasera. Allora, quanti siamo? Quanti siamo? 55, perfetto, cominciamo. So once again, apologies for the camera view. The other camera didn't pick up, so we're using this one. You can see my air conditioning, you can see the actual studio. Allora, buonasera a tutti. Buonasera. So as Joe pointed out, the website is currently down, and at the end of the webinar, I'll get in touch with the company and make sure that they bring it back. But okay, we're leaving them. We're leaving them, and I'll give you an update on what's happening. And if you've been waiting to get in for level 2, it's coming basically. I'll tell you at the end of the webinar. But let's keep the questions language related and course related for now. So we're going to spend around an hour together. So if I can't keep an eye on the chat the whole time, so if you do have a question, once you type the message, there's a way to like mouse over your message and make it into a question. That way I'll be able to see it. Is the sound in sync with the video? I set up on my laptop stupidly, so I can't actually check myself. I usually have 2 monitors, but are we good? Tutto bene? Tutto a posto? Ok. Benissimo. Allora, let's start with your questions. Is there something that is not clear from any unit of the course? Now, if the question is about something that you haven't covered, don't worry. I mean, just listen in. When you get to it, this is going to help you. I have to remove this camera because I keep looking at it. Sorry. So I spotted a question from Marcos. And are we going to lose our personal notes after the migration? Yes. Unfortunately, yes, it's a completely different system and platform. So there are a few things that will be lost. Now, level 1, even when we migrate the content to the new platform for level 1, you will still be able to come back to the old website, the one that you get used to, and you can still access that. But obviously, it's not convenient because I understand that but no, if you're wanting to check anything about level 1 as you took it while it was delivered, you will find all your notes and the forum messages on the old website. But moving forward onto the new website, those things will not carry over. Now, Joy, modal verbs. Yes, modal verbs. I love them. Are they like adverbs? There are many more English adverbs. No, they're not like adverbs. So An adverb would be, it's like an adjective, like a quality for a verb. It basically, the adverb tells you how you're doing the verb. So I speak gently, that gently tells you how I'm speaking. Or I cook well, it tells you how I cook. So it's like a quality for the verb. Modal verbs, they're just verbs. They're just verbs, but they have a peculiar thing, and they're called, in English, you can call them helping verbs. It's because you can't really use a modal verb by itself. It kind of needs to have another verb afterwards. For example, can, in English. You can't say I can and stop there because people say, you can what? Okay, so these are modal verbs. And in Italian, we have the ones that I taught you are dovere, potere, volere, sapere. And basically, they are, do you have a specific question? But they're not like adverbs, okay? And they're not like, what was my point? Sorry, I got distracted. So you basically use them with a verb afterwards. So like in English, think of the English verb to be able to. You can't say I am able to and stop there. You can if you imply a verb, but I'm able to come, I'm able to stay. I was able to come, I was able to stay. I will be able to come, I will be able to stay. As you can see in English, you're only conjugating the modal verb. In Italian, it's the same. So when you know more tenses for Italian, you will be able to do the same. So if you can say posso venire, I can come. When you know the future, you'll be able to say potrò venire, I will be able to come. Or, I don't know, any tense you will be able to use with a modal verb. And the next verb, just straight infinitive. Oh, Grace, the PDFs, thank you for reminding me actually. When I opened the last lesson of the course, telling you here you can find all the PDFs compiled, I was in Japan and I couldn't access my cloud storage for some reason. And so I never did it. So thank you for the reminder. And yes, I will do that after the webinar. I will make all the PDFs available in a single download, like a zip file, available in the final unit of the course. Grazie mille. Okay. Candice, will we find out the results of the final exam? No. But what I can do is I can make a video for level 2 where I've always done it anyway, where I go over the questions and the answers for the final quiz. It'll be a long video because the final quiz had 30 questions, but yes, I'll do that. That way you can. Yeah, one of the reasons why we're moving away from the current platform is that it doesn't allow you to see the questions and the answers, which is kind of weird. But yeah, the new platform will be totally much better and you'll be able to see the answers for anything that we ask you. But yeah, for the final quiz, I will have a lesson on unit 2, on level 2, where I go over everything. Grazie mille. Can you, Janice, can you explain when to use sorry. Can you explain when to use a before an indicative? I know with andare, but what about other verbs? Okay, this is a tricky topic. So we're talking about when do we use the preposition a before stating an infinitive, like, because I tell you that mangiare means to eat. So in English, if you say I don't know, I want to eat, then you know, okay, to eat is mangiare, and then I'll just say mangiare. But sometimes we ask you to put a preposition before the verb, and it doesn't make sense because you don't expect it, right? This has more to do with the main verb that you're using than any rule of the Italian language. I'll give you an example with English. So the verb to depend uses on. So you cannot say, it's not followed by a verb, but is it? But anyway, like it depends on what you do. You cannot say it depends what you do. So that on is only there because depend wants it. In Italian, it's the same. The main verb, like the first verb that you use, expects a preposition. Andare usually expects a or per. Vado in Italia a studiare. I'm going to Italy to study. And you might think, why do I need the to? Because studiare already means to study, but there's movement and you're going to do something, and andare just wants the preposition, like you said. Other times where you can use per, and per usually translates the idea of in order to. So vado in Italia per studiare is also possible because that means I'm going to Italy in order to study. So I'm doing action 1 in order to do action 2. But your question is, how about other verbs? How do I know what preposition they use? You don't. Grazie Gigi, you look nice. Grazie. I would have looked better with a good camera, but it's not working. So, 64 people, 64 persone. Where was I? So yeah, it depends on the verb. So there is no real answer because, for example, the verb finire. So in English, you finish studying. In Italian, finire di studiare. So with finire, you have to use di before the next verb. But there's no way for you to know that you should say di. Cominciare, to start, uses a. To start studying, cominciare a studiare. So that a, it's not there for any particular reason, but that cominciare wants a. Think of it like in English, to depend on, to listen to wait for. It's just attached to the first verb, so it's really, really hard for you to guess. So as you learn a verb, you will learn what preposition it wants. Romas, can you talk a bit about invece? Yeah, invece is I agree to talk about invece because it's not that, it doesn't have a lot of meanings, okay? So invece means instead or on the other hand. Per esempio, a me piace il mare, invece a te piace la montagna. So I like the beach instead, or on the other hand, you like the mountains. So it's got that meaning. It doesn't really have a lot of other meanings. So basically, anytime you want to say something, and then instead or on the other hand, something else, you would say invece. Now, for example, I can use it in a slightly different meaning, but it's the same as English. So if you say, well, it's the same meaning, but if you say, andiamo in pizzeria stasera, andiamo in pizzeria stasera, shall we go to the pizzeria tonight? And I say, perché invece non andiamo al ristorante blah blah blah? Why instead don't we go? So, perché invece non andiamo? So it's the same pretty much as instead, really, okay. Alan, ciao. Sentence structure, what's the best formula to follow? Good question, yes. So, what's the best formula to follow for sentence structure? I would create two categories, statements and questions. For questions, Italian does have a specific structure that is different from English, and it's usually the question word, like quando, dove, perché, followed by the verb that you need to use, conjugated for the subject, followed by the subject if you have to. Quindi, quando arrivi, when are you arriving, or quando arrivi tu, when are you arriving? See, the tu is in the wrong spot for English speakers. Quando parte il treno, when does the train depart? And il treno sounds weird for you because it's after. But that's the structure. So for questions, you're safe because just remember the structure. For statements, I would say don't worry too much because it is the same as English, pretty much. Hey guys, I see a delay in my preview. Is it okay? Can you all hear me and see me? Well, okay? I see a delay, but anyway. Sì, tutto ok? Erin, tutto ok? Ok, perfetto, perfetto. I stress about these things. Now, Alan, what's the structure for statements? I would say that it's pretty much the same as English. In most cases. Now, there are little things that are different. For example, in Italian, the adjective goes after. In Italian, you use the definite article a lot more. So there are little differences, and in Italian, we don't state the subject unless it's necessary, in which case we put it at the end. But overall, I wouldn't worry about statements. For example, if you're trying to say, hey guys, what do you think about going to the mall tonight to get pizza? I don't know. It would be the same. It would be the same, okay? E ragazzi, che ne dite di andare al centro commerciale stasera per prendere una pizza? So it's the same structure in most cases. So trust your instinct. Okay. Narine. There are sentences where the adjective goes before the noun. Are there specific rules? Yes, there are specific rules. We haven't covered them yet. They're coming in level 2. Some adjectives, and not many, they sound better before. I don't know why. They can also be used afterwards, but they sometimes give a different meaning. I don't want to get into the details because it's a lesson that it's coming, but usually the adjectives that sound good before are not many, but grande, buono, bello. Ok? Quindi un bel panorama, we would say un bel panorama instead of un panorama bello. But un panorama bello is also good. It's also possible. Una grande villa, a big villa. Una villa grande, but grande sounds better before. And the other one that I say, was it buono? Una buona cena, a good dinner, instead of una cena buona, which is also possible. But those are the ones that kind of tend to sound better before. Okay. Jim, buonasera o buongiorno. Is there a rule in Italian about collective nouns as a subject being singular or plural? Love this one. For example, Amazon, a company, is treated as a singular in the US, but as a plural in the UK. Love this question. Perfetto, okay. Italian tends to be very analytical when it comes to grammar. So in English, you can use the plural many times because it's, sometimes it's compulsory. For example, the word people, since it means a lot of people, you use it as a plural and you can't choose here. Like it's not America or England, right? So people are, but in Italian, when you say la gente, you have to look at the word la gente. You're using the singular article, la gente, you got to use the singular verb. So that's the basic stuff. But in the case of what you said, it's the same. We keep the logics, as in the grammatical, not the logic. So like in English, sometimes you opt for logics, meaning if you say Amazon, then you're meaning the company, which is big. So you could use the plural. I can see how that works in English, but in Italian, no. If you say Amazon, it's una compagnia, it's a company, quindi Amazon è una compagnia americana. Il Parlamento italiano decide, the Italian Parliament decides, okay. Il governo, anything like that, it can be collective in English, it's not in Italian because it's a grammatical singular. There's another scenario that I like, actually. There's another scenario, and it's percentages and or the majority of. For example, 20% of Italians eat. No, 20% of Italian eats in Italian because that 20% is a singular. How? Because we say il 20%. That's a singular. Grammatically speaking, il 20% degli italiani, it's a singular because the subject is il 20%. So we have to use the singular in those cases. Actually, I think reading recently, it's actually wrong in English as well to use the plural, but we do, I think. Any grammar expert, English grammar expert, I think it's grammatically incorrect in English, but it's the accepted form. But so yeah, we got to go with singular based on the grammatical logics, not the mental logics. Grazie Narine. Narine, non mi ricordo. Let me see. Manu, Joy, please pronounce the name Enrico. I cannot get the vowel correct. Your uncle, okay. Zio Enrico. The problem is that nr, it's actually difficult. The camera, sorry. It's actually difficult for other Italians as well, for some Italians to say Enrico, because usually you don't have n followed by an R. It's a very difficult sound for Italians. So Enrico, N, think of the word entrance, N, and then Rico, think of the word Rico, like Spanish, the word Rico, that you probably heard in the States. Enrico, Enrico, Enrico. So if you want to put it together, it's Zio Enrico, Zio Enrico. Cool. Dolly, buonasera. In Unit 3, Lesson 14, essere is a permanent state. Two of the examples used in the lesson are not what I would consider permanent state. What We are hungry. They are lazy. Is that correct? It's not for the first example, simply because in English, you are hungry. In Italian, you have hunger. So it's just an idiomatic expression that we use the verb avere for that. So you cannot say sono with something like that. And then the other one, lazy. Now, being lazy is a permanent state. I am lazy or I'm not lazy. Quindi sono pigro o non sono pigro. Now, you might say, I understand what you mean. But for example, tired, stanco. Why are we saying sono stanco and not sto stanco? Dialects will use sto stanco, but the Italian language, I think I remember saying in the video that is like the general sense, but in most cases we're going to use essere regardless. So Italian has opted for essere in most cases and using stare occasionally for temporary states. Okay, I would say go with essere in most cases. You're going to be a lot safer. Like you can't say sto sposato, I'm married, because although marriage can be a temporary state, it's not. Okay, so sono sposato. So I would go with essere in most cases. And use stare when it means to stay, as in physical being in a place. For example, stasera sto a casa, I'm staying at home, meaning I'm remaining at home. So I would use stare with the meaning of to remain mostly. Tony, I have trouble understanding the use of mica when speaking, even though I can puzzle it out when reading Italian. Help. Mica. I don't remember if I have a lesson on mica or if I have a YouTube video on mica, but basically mica is an intensifier of a negative sentence. So you know that in Italian, to make a negative statement, we use non plus the verb. And then, for example, we can add another negative word like mai, never. So io non parlo mai, I don't never speak, or I never speak. But so we have this idea of double negative whenever you need a second negative word. Think of the French ne verb pas, if you know French. So that pas, that's kind of what we're talking about, okay? So what does that mica mean? Mica makes the negative stronger. So io non parlo mica cinese. But when would you use it? Because what's the difference between io non parlo cinese e io non parlo mica cinese? That mica is usually the response to a previous statement or a comment to a previous statement that implies that I do that or implies that something. And then my point is, it's not like I speak Chinese. So it's not just I don't speak Chinese, but it's not like I do that. Per esempio, I don't know, if somebody asks you to borrow some money, Manu, mi dai $10? Mi dai 10 euro? Will you give me 10 euro? And I say, non sono mica la banca. So I'm not saying non sono la banca, I'm not the bank, but I'm going to say non sono mica la banca. It's not like I'm the bank. So that's what mica means. Alan, double negatives covered in unit 47. Oh no, probably there's no unit 47. Lesson 45 anyway. Grazie. Okay, now I see a question from Gigi. It's not a language related, but it's about platform. I would like to know if the students who started a week or two late will remain behind everyone else or will... Okay, remind me to answer this later, okay? Marty, sometimes I hear some Italian speakers pronounce c'è with a sh rather than a ch. Am I hearing incorrectly? No, Marty, you're hearing it right. As you know, in Italy, I think there's like 1,000 languages. Officially, there's 160 languages spoken in Italy. And a lot of them are dialects, but they're basically languages. And so when we speak Italian, that is usually a second language for us, for most Italians. So we are going to speak that second language, Italian, with our accent or with our dialect. So in the area of Rome, which is where I'm from, the dialect doesn't have the ch sound, it has the sh sound. So instead of ciao, ciao. Or bacio, for kiss, bacio. So you will hear Italians from that part of Italy, and not just Rome, but like the whole central part, having a sh sound instead of a ch sound, and it's still the same. So bacio means bacio. Now, I don't say it that way, but yeah, you will find it's a thing. It's a thing. You know, like in Bologna, what do? They put the ts sound instead of the ch. And I'm not gonna imitate that, but basically it's I don't know, like la cena for la cena. So instead of cena, dinner, they'll say cena. It sounds really funny to me, but you know, that's the beauty of dialects and languages. Okay. Yvette, buonasera. Do you have any tips for a fluent Spanish speaker learning Italian? I have trouble with the spelling in Italian, particularly double consonants, since Spanish has so few. Yes. Well, first of all, if you are fluent in Spanish, it helps. Okay. So, Gigi, you know this. If you're fluent in Spanish, it does help because Italian and Spanish are a lot closer than English and Italian. So, now, when it comes to doubles, yes, Italian has a lot of doubles, and I think the best way for you to get it right is to sit down. I'm gonna push one of my courses, but I have a course that is Speak Italian like in Italiano. It's a like 3-hour course on Italian pronunciation, but it covers the spelling and pronunciation. We are slowly covering all this stuff in this course, but if you're in a hurry, you can get that course. And basically, if you know the rule, then it's all about knowing the rule. For example, if you know how Italian works, then you're more likely to get it right. But in terms of double sounds, it's all about hearing it. So I have a lesson, if somebody can help me out, Joe. I have a lesson on double sounds, I think, and it's all about hearing it. So the way you detect a double sound that doesn't exist in Spanish, is that you hear the micropause in the vowel before. You hear the vowel before the double sound being lengthened, and there's a micropause. For example, let me think of a word that we have in both languages. Do you have an example, Yvette, of like a word that we have in Spanish that it's with a single consonant, but it's a double in? I can't think of. If you have one, type it in. I'll keep an eye on it. And yeah, but it's all about hearing it. So I don't know. Let me think. Okay, let's say the word for crazy. One of the two words for crazy. Matto. Matto. Instead of, if I said mato, there would be a single T like in Spanish. Matto, there's a double. So I talk about double sounds in lesson 52. Grazie, Joe. Okay, Robert, and grazie. In Italian, gatto, gato in Spanish. Can you hear the difference? Gato, I'm exaggerating, but gatto. El gato. So it's ga and to have the same weight. In Italian, they don't. Gatto. It helps if you know Japanese, because Italian and Japanese sound very alike. So, for example, natto, which is fermented soy. Natto, gatto. It's the same. Now, okay. Gigi, mettere. Mettere, mettere. They sound different. So it's all about hearing the hiccup sound. If you hear it, double the consonant. That should help. Now, somebody can remember, but I think Gigi or Joey, somebody said that Lucrezia from YouTube, she speaks with the sh sound instead of the ch sound. That is right. She is from Rome. Okay, let me go back to the questions. Laura, buonasera. I understand tu and te both mean you, but what does it mean when the two are together? The tu and te do mean you, but not in the same way. That's because English uses you for all options. Think for a second, move to the third person in English. So you have he and she, that's the subject. But then you have him and her, or it, and that's the object, right? And then you have himself and herself, which is a reflexive pronoun in English. So they're different. Tu and te are the same. They both talk about the person you're talking to, like you, but in different ways. So tu is the subject. So you are going to use the word when you need to specify the subject of the verb, like tu parli italiano, you speak Italian, and I need to say tu because I'm trying to create some emphasis of some sort. So tu is the subject. Te is the pronoun that means you as the object of the verb or the recipient of the verb, and it's the version that we use after a preposition or at the end of a verb. If that, I know it's a lot, but for example, if I say I'm speaking to you, in English, that you is the same as the you subject. But go back to the third person. He speaks, that's he as the subject. I'm speaking to him, that's who I'm speaking to. So after the preposition, I use him, I don't use he. Same in Italian. So that te is the same concept applied to tu. So parlo con te, I'm speaking to you. I'm not going to say parlo con tu. Can you give me an example when they're used together? Tu te. The only ones that can be used together are tu and ti. Tu ti lavi, you wash yourself. That's because we need the subject tu to say you, and then we need the ti to mean yourself. So that maybe is something that you saw. Now, David, when do you use ciò for what? Ciò, C-I-O with an accent. You don't use ciò with an you don't use ciò to mean what when what you're trying to say is the what as a question word, as in what are you studying? Then it's che cosa or cosa. You never say ciò. Ciò means it's a little. Ciò is like the topic that I'm talking about. We tend to replace it with quello in conversational Italian. So, for example, ciò che io so è che, that which I know is that, but in spoken Italian we'll say quello che so, that which I know. So I think that in spoken Italian you're not going to use ciò a lot, meaning that or that which, but as the object of your sentence. Never works as the question, okay? David, quando si usa riuscire e potere? That's a ginormous topic. I will have a YouTube video coming out very soon. It's not something that I covered as a beginner. It will be included in the intermediate level, but if you want to know the answer, riuscire has the added meaning of as much as I try, I cannot do that. So for example, posso venire, I can come to the party, for example, ma non riesco a venire, I cannot come to the party, but that's because I'm trying to say as much as I want to, as much as I try, I am not able to do it. I can't make it. So that riuscire is like I can't make it or I can make it. Cool? Alan, what's the best way to choose the most commonly used word slowly, piano, lentamente? Good. Yeah, because dictionaries will not really help you. Like if you say, ask a dictionary to tell you slowly, it will probably tell you lentamente. But we use piano in most cases. Let me think, is there I can't really think. It's a great question. I don't know if I have an answer right now. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, asking any... Oh, I have the answer. I have the answer. How's this? Oh my God, the light is so horrible with this camera. I'm sorry. Like I got yellow face. Moving on to the new platform, there will be a chat widget, which we had in the current website, but it wasn't working because it was hidden away. Nobody was using it. The new platform will have it at the bottom, just like Facebook. So it'd be like Messenger. Oh, you will want to use it. But why would you want to use it? There will be Italians available to answer your questions. Whether you want to ask a quick question or whether you want to chat, as in chat, like type or video chat, it will be included because you supported me from the very beginning. It's an edit service for new subscribers, but for you, you'll get it. And so yeah, you'll be able to ask in Italian, because really the best way to know is to ask in Italian, like, because they both mean lentamente and piano, they both mean slowly. But it's only an Italian who can tell you which one we use most commonly, and I'll give you Italians for that. Okay. John, I can't pronounce it. John. I'm usually good with this. How do you ask an Italian person how they would like to be addressed, as lei or tu? Great question. So, first of all, prego, David. Okay, grazie, John. Okay. First of all, you can only ask them if you're in the position of asking them. Meaning, if you're in a business scenario, like, like they're serving you or you're at the post office, you cannot ask. It's a business scenario. They're going to be formal. You're going to have to let them. And you have to be formal to them, unless they're like much younger than you and you think, yeah, it's fine, I can be casual. So be sure that you can ask them first. So you have to be the older person, you have to be in the higher position, and the context has to allow it. So there's a few conditions. But if you can ask, then I will say that I'm going to type it as well. And I don't know if, actually I'll broadcast it because I forget I have that feature, but okay. So, and let me just make it, so you can say, possiamo darci del tu? Possiamo darci del tu? Can we speak casually to each other? Possiamo darci del tu. Now, this one is the best one because it doesn't, because you don't want to ask, can I give you, or can I call you casually? Because when you ask that, you're already doing it because you have to use the word tu, which is not right. So I would say that's the best one. But another one that I like is this one. Diamoci del tu. Often preceded by the empty Italian word ma diamoci del tu, but let's be casual. Especially if you are definitely in the strongest, highest position. Or if you feel that you're equal. If you feel that you're equal, then maybe you can say that. Why don't we just speak casually? So, diamoci del tu, or the other one. Possiamo darci del tu. Candice. There's so many questions, and you know what I realized that, and I'm so sorry if I haven't done it in the past, but because I don't think about these things sometimes, and secondly, it's just I'm overwhelmed with work, and I would like to have, when I publish this webinar for future viewing, I want to have a time-stamped list of topics so that you can just go straight to the answer that you're looking for. I'm sorry if I haven't done it before. Candice, is lui a subject and ye an indirect object? Yes. Not sure when to use which. Lui is the subject. In old Italian, lui was not the subject. It used to be the object or the direct. So it used to be the indirect. So in old Italian, and maybe that's why you're confused, because maybe somebody has taught you the old way, which is slap them in the face, not punch them, but slap them in here. Okay, they shouldn't be teaching you all like old Italian, or maybe a book. But Old Italian used to have lui as the indirect object, but right now, let's talk about present. Lui is the subject. So if you want to say he, you're going to say lui, or not say it, but yeah, lui. If you want to say to him or for him, you're going to say gli, and you're going to put that before the verb. For example, gli do una penna, to him I give a pen. You have to say gli because it's to him and not he. So that's the main difference. Okay. Gigi, remind me to answer all your platform questions. I have 2 more grammar questions, and then we can start talking about that. Oh, actually, no. That one is also Manu. It's the way language related. Can you recommend any good podcast in Italian on diet and fitness? Romas, great question or great idea, because I mean, I do recommend you find something that you enjoy. I don't follow anything in Italian for fitness. I usually watch my fitness in English, but there is a channel that I quite like. It's called My Personal Trainer TV. It's on YouTube. And what's her name? Alessia? Nah, something like that. It started out as a fitness channel, but now all she does is recipes. But I like her because she speaks very well. She speaks relatively slow. I mean, she doesn't do it intentionally. I have some great news, actually. Oh, so much to tell you. She doesn't do it intentionally, but her Italian is quite good and relatively slow. She has a French R that shows you that you don't need to have R to speak Italian. She's Italian and she doesn't have R. So, yeah, check her out. You might enjoy her videos. She puts a lot of effort in them, and I think the language is quite good. Gigi, you watch her because of me? Thank you. Okay. And Janice, when saying I don't know, non lo so, do you always use lo? Yes. Great question. First of all, I mentioned it somewhere, but lately my sister has been helping me going over your homework, and she just keeps commenting how amazing you are. And I've been doing the group video lessons for students who have completed level 1 and have been waiting for level 2. And I have to say, you are amazing. You have learned Italian so well. It's just crazy. And the questions you ask are so good, so good. And what was I saying? Let me just hold on. Oh yeah, no lo so, non lo so. So that non lo so, that lo means it. So in English, you wouldn't say I don't know it, unless you're trying to say I don't know that. But in Italian, we tend to say non lo so as the answer to do you know blah, blah, blah. So go with, you're going to say non lo so if it's I don't know the thing that you said, or the thing that, the thing that you asked, non lo so. We do have non so. Non so. That is similar, but we tend to use it when we have uncertainty about something. Not that we don't know something, but we are unsure about something. Viene Marco a cena? Is Marco coming to dinner? Non so. Or non so se, it's actually best to use in a sentence. Non so se Marco viene a cena. I don't know if Marco is coming. So I would say that non so is more, 1 in a sentence, and 2 has more hesitation or uncertainty about it. Johan, there's a gentleman online teach, Alberto, Italiano Automatico. He believes no need for grammar. What do you say? I like Alberto. I'm not sure. Okay, I believe in no grammar, in the sense that I'm a big promoter of let me rewind. Grammar is usually what has made you study Italian for 4 years and not be able to speak. From zero to Italian and Easily Made Easy have managed to make you speak. But I do grammar, don't I? So here's the point. Actually, he also believes we hang out in the same world of linguists. So if you're a language learner, you know that grammar is essential. You cannot speak properly if you don't put the right words in the right order. So grammar is essential. Conjugating a verb is grammar. Using the right article is grammar. You need to have that stuff. But what we talk about is spend the first 3 to 6 months mastering as much grammar as you possibly can, and then learn it by speaking and exposing yourself to Italian and Italian conversation and Italian speakers. That's what we're doing with From Zero to Italian. We're covering as much grammar as possible in the first 2 levels. And then, of course, we'll keep going because there's so much to learn about the language, the grammar of a language, but you cannot move forward with a language unless you know the grammar and enough vocabulary, because if you do, you will think that you suck because you don't know how to say anything. And then it's going to discourage you. So my advice and my opinion, and I know that Alberto agrees with me because we know, we have the same approach, is get the grammar in as quickly as possible. Be sure about the basics of the language, you know, conjugating verbs, word order, articles, prepositions, tenses, and then you move on. And then you move on. Also, Harry, yes, my approach also, okay, the other thing about Alberto is that he doesn't know grammar. He doesn't like grammar. He says that. So he doesn't like it. So he's not going to teach it. I actually do like it. So I do teach it. And now Harry pointed out, grazie Harry, that my approach is based on comparative linguistics, which is how I learned my languages back at university as a translator and interpreter. And comparative linguistics, for me, is the best approach, but just because the one I use, but it uses your own language as it's like, imagine like a stool, like to boost your height to reach something. Why ignore your language when your language shares so much with mine? So that's why my approach is based on English. And I'll take 2 more minutes of questions, and then I'll wrap up and I'll tell you about what's happening. Diane, can you talk about the most effective study habits? How does our brain absorb the most in small segments? Personally, and research shows that small bits and pieces of exposure and study consistently are the better approach. So spending 3 hours on Sunday learning as much Italian as you can and then do nothing for 6 days is not the best approach, because your brain needs to be reminded. So when I talk about self-talk, the second time I talk about self-talk in the course, I talk about using your words immediately as you learn them. So 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, speak Italian to yourself using the words that you've just learned. Flashcards help, but you gotta use them. So if you learn the word for tuttavia, or let's say invece, like we did today, start using it today. Start speaking, introducing the concept of however, or of tuttavia, or sorry, or not however, or instead, invece, so that you use it, and use it tomorrow. So it is about do as little as you can or as much as you can every day. That is the best approach. Small sessions. That's why I keep my lessons under the 30-minute mark. And I ask you and I push you to not go on to the second lesson. I know that you have time today. I know that if you have 2 hours today, you want to watch 4 lessons. That is not productive. Even moving forward, where whoever joins beginner Italian level 1 is not going to have to wait for the lessons. They're going to access the whole thing. I will keep asking them to only do 1 a day, even when you have time. So if the lesson is only 10 minutes, spend the rest of your time doing other things: self-talk, reading, shadowing, comprehension, watching something in Italian. That is much better than keep going. And then, Alexander, can you suggest a good resource for additional reading material? Not so much at this stage, because, I mean, I do. I do, in the sense that something that works really well is looking up graduated books in Italian, so libri graduati. It's not a famous concept, but that's how I learned English back in high school. Reading English literature classics in a much condensed version, basically rewritten completely with simpler English. So if you find a graduated book, I think Lucia from Hungary, she is reading Pinocchio, but it's like the graduated version. She's not reading the actual Pinocchio, she's reading the graduated version of Pinocchio. So I would suggest that is the best way. The other good way is there's an app it's a Chrome extension, I think. It's called, what's it called? Readlang. And I think I've mentioned it in one of my lessons, but basically that can help you read Oh, there was no sound because I didn't click on the mic. So now you should have sound and video again. Are we good? Yes, I'm so sorry. I got excited and I clicked on Readlang. But yes, that's a plugin that you can use to help you read anything. And yeah, check it out. Now, grazie mille for all your questions. I can see that you're really, really, really committed. It's been a pleasure having some of you attend the live video chats, because it shows me how well you can speak, and it gives you the confidence to say, actually, I'm pretty good. And I'm sure that you have had that feeling if you did come to the video. The app suggestion, without clicking anymore, it's called Readlang. So I'll just type it, Readlang, like that. Perfetto. So, platform. If you completed level 1, and it's probably been 3 weeks already for some of you, the reason is that we must move away from the current website that we host our service, because as you saw today, it wasn't working. It's given us so many headaches. You've watched the updates anyway, but I've spoken to the programmers in India. There's 4 people. I've spoken to 4, maybe there's more. And they're working effortlessly to create the new platform. And they told me it's ready. So today we'll have a briefing, and I will go in and start playing around with it, testing, buying things, accessing things. So I will be doing all of that. So basically, they promised me that by Monday, not tomorrow, like next Monday, we'll be able to start enrolling students into that new platform. It's going to be amazing. And like I said, everybody is going to get 1 month added to their account once we migrate. But if you have completed level 1 and it's been like a few weeks, you're getting 2 months, because I need to make up for the month that you did pay and you didn't get anything. So that's happening. Now, I had a few questions about the platform. So if you don't care about the platform, meaning you just watch the videos anyway, grazie mille per la partecipazione, and I'll see you next time. See you in the next webinar. But if you want to know what's happening, there was a couple of questions from Gigi. One was, I don't remember. Can you ask me the questions again? Oh, Gigi said, will you be behind when you join level 2? Yes, you will be, meaning, but you won't be as behind, because basically anybody who's finished level 1 in the past 4 weeks will start at the same time. But since level 1 has the drip-fed content, you will get to the end of level 1 in 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months. That's when level 2 will start for you. So yes, you will be behind. I don't know if you got this, but basically the reason we are dripping, apart from the fact that I believe it's the best option for you, is that I'm creating the course with you. So I cannot give you access to the entire level 2 because it doesn't exist yet. So we are building it together. Gigi, if you finished already, you will start at the same time as everybody else who's finished already, yes. So, I lose my train of thought. Mi sono confuso già. What was I saying? Help me out here. Una piccola confessione. Non ho bevuto il caffè. I haven't had my coffee because I'm out of coffee. What was I saying? Yes, level 2. Yes, level 2. We're talking about level 2. Oh, yeah. So you guys, since you joined from 0 to Italian and you have a membership that gives you access to all of the future courses, you're in a good position that you're going to get everything that the new platform has included in your subscription, whatever option you have. But also it means that you're creating the course with me. Now, from 0 to Italian subscription won't be sold anymore. It's already not available anymore. So nobody can join like you did, which means which means that people who come to the new platform, they will be able to buy level 1 and have it as a course. They will have the whole thing. It'll still take them months to finish it because there's a lot of content, but they will have the whole thing. Nobody will be able to buy level 2 until we have finished producing it. Okay, so that's how it works. Now, what else? So yeah, I've already told you, if you have finished level 1, on Monday next week, we'll open the platform, but I have to create your accounts manually. I haven't checked how many of you have finished, but I'm suspecting that around 150, 200 people have already finished level 1, which means that I have to manually create accounts for all of you. So as of Monday, you'll start receiving welcome emails with your login access to the new platform and all the information. But hold on. Has everybody lost the sound? Hello? I see the sound there. Should be okay with sound. It's a lot of work for me, yes. Yeah, okay, cool. Now, Joy, if you're a lifetime member, and don't ask me for that, there was only 34 people who got it. Yes, I still have to create an account for you as well. And I will add, as I'm creating accounts for you individually, I will give you all the access rights that you need to have. So as I created your new account on your new website, I have to give you access to level 1. I have to give you access to level 2. I have to give you access to the video chat. I have to give you access to everything. So yeah, everybody needs to have their account pretty much being. So on Monday, hopefully I might be able to start doing this on Sunday, which means you might get in on Sunday, but just give it a little bit to get in, okay? Marcus, will there be a new round of video chats if you haven't finished the level 1 yet? Since basically the new platform, when you finish level 1, I will move you to the new website, which means you will have access to the widget, to the chat, and you'll be able to chat with, sometimes there'll be me, but there'll be other Italians available there for chat. Because one thing that we have done in the live chats is that I don't teach anything. it's just about getting you to speak. So you don't need Manu for the chat. You just need an Italian available to you, and you will have that. Yes. And you know, I'm enjoying doing the chats. Like I enjoy doing the webinars. So yeah, I will try and give you chats with me, but you will be able to chat for free with the video chat thing. Okay. Okay. Now, one more thing that I would like to ask you, as I'm preparing the new platform, and let me see how many of you have been patient enough to say 55 of you. Well done. As I'm preparing the new platform, I also need to finally have a homepage for the course, because we still don't have a good page where I explain what the course is. So moving forward, I need to create a homepage. So I'm asking you, if you're watching this in the recording, if you have time, if you enjoyed taking level 1, if you have learned a lot, or if you have seen a shift between the way you were learning Italian before and now. So if I help you in any way, I would like to ask you to perhaps leave a testimonial for me so that I can use it on the homepage of the new website if you want. I've prepared 2 options for you if you are keen to help me out. One is a written testimonial, and I will show you the link. Okay, just a quick question from Claudia. What if I want to change monthly to yearly member? When is the best time to change? Well, basically there's no more time, but since I haven't warned you, get in touch with support@italimedici.com as quickly as possible, because those memberships don't exist anymore. So you have it. Moving forward, I will honor the promise of giving you everything that I promised, but you can't get either anymore. So get in touch with support. We'll do it for the next week or 2, or just I will honor that if you want to change from monthly to yearly. Now, for the testimonials, let me send you there. If you want to leave a written testimonial, you should see now a thing on the page that takes you to a testimonial page. And that's, if you can't see it, the address is italimedici.com/testimonials. You can, I've put there, I wanted to share my screen, but maybe it's best if I don't, just in case you lose me. Apart from your name and email, and type in that you're reviewing from 0 to Italian, I have like a ton of questions there just to help you come up with ideas, but you don't have to answer all of them. You can only pick 1 or 2 that you want to answer. So, but there are like 13 questions to help you get ideas on what you could talk about that would be beneficial for me to share with the world if we want more people to join the community. It's good for you if more people join, because moving forward, the new platform will have Italians available for your chat and the forum, but at certain times of the day, kind of rotating so that everybody can use them. But the objective is, once we have 1,000 students, right now we have 450, so we're close, is to have Italians 24/7. And we want that, but it's got a cost for me to pay people to be there 24 hours a day. So the more students we have, the better it is. So if you can say something that would make somebody join the program, I thank you, because that is really going to help. Now, you don't have to answer all the questions, just a reminder. At the bottom, there's like a blank one, just say whatever you want. Now, so italimedici.com/testimonials. If you want, you can leave a video testimonial, and they're so valuable, but I understand it's not everybody's cup of cake, piece of cake and cup of tea, I think I meant. And if you want, you can leave a video testimonial by going to this link here, and which is, if you can't see it, it's italimedici.com/video-testimonials. This one is a bit more technical, but basically there's a little widget at the bottom where you can use your camera to record. You have to authorize your browser to use your camera. So if you get lost, don't worry, but If you can work it, it should work in every browser. You can do that. And the video testimonial, you can still use the questions for the standard testimonial to give you ideas on what you can say whatever you want, share your story. But if you don't know what to say, those questions can help you. You can leave a video testimonial using your phone or your tablet. So if you work off those, or if you don't have a webcam or microphone, then there are Android and iPhone apps, and here they are. So if you need the iOS app, go to the App Store and look for Boast, as in B-O-A-S-T, boast.io. Download that app, and then when you download it and you launch it, all you have to do is enter the campaign name, and it's Italian. So this makes sense once you have the app on your phone, but download the boast.io app, launch it, enter Italian, and then you can just start recording your testimonial and then say send, and I receive it. If you're on Android, that also is possible. So here it is. And again, go to the Chrome, or what's it called, the App Store for Android, and look for boast.io, download it, and it's the same thing. Enter the campaign code Italian, and you will record a testimonial for me. That would be very much appreciated. It's a lot of work, so don't do it. And especially don't do it if you're bothered that you've been waiting for 3 weeks, because that wouldn't be a good testimonial. Grazie mille, ragazzi. Now, let me see. Erin, yes, you can leave a testimonial if you haven't finished. As long as you've used the course for 2 or 3 weeks and you've seen a difference, if it helped you with something. Especially a lot of you, I realize that a lot of you have been studying Italian for, not since you joined, but you've been studying Italian for like 2, 5 years. Some of you even 8, 10 years. And yet you're in the program and you're learning the basic stuff and it's helping you. So that's what I'm talking about. You don't have to have finished the level. Just as long as I've been able to help you with learning Italian and getting you confidence. I think a lot of you gained the confidence of speaking and knowing that, yeah, you can say stuff. I would love to hear that. And that would actually help us create a better platform. Because like I said, the more students, the merrier and the better for everybody, because I can do more things when I have more students. So once again, the pages for the testimonials, if you want, are on italymedici.com/testimonials or /video-testimonials. And I will put it back here so you can see it, at least the one. Ok, grazie mille ragazzi. It's been more than an hour and 53 of you are still here. I love you. Vi voglio molto bene. Grazie mille. Okay, hold on. Are there any other site other than your homepage where feedback can be left to review? There isn't anything. I mean, Nicholas, I guess Facebook would be a place, but I haven't been very active on Facebook. So, because, a review on, I don't know. I can't think of anything, right? I know that there are things like best learning platform or best language learning YouTube channel, things like that. But I honestly, I don't bother too much with them. I should, because I understand that it would help Italy Made Easy, but I'm just so busy working with you that yeah, I don't worry too much about getting involved in those, like, so I know that Lucrezia, like, she's very active on that. She asks people to vote for her blog, and I don't. So, ok, grazie mille ragazzi, è stato bellissimo vedervi. Great questions, and I will make sure that at some point, for the previous webinar and for this one, you have a list of questions that I've answered with a timestamp, so you can, go straight to the answer, because I realize that you don't want to watch the whole thing every time. Grazie mille ragazzi. Arrivederci, buonanotte se siete in Europa o in America, e buongiorno se siete in Asia o in Australia, eccetera. Un bacione e a presto. Ciao ciao. Grazie mille per il testimonial, se lo lasciate. Ciao ciao.